We're going to start the Finance Committee meeting of the Finance Committee. I'm sorry, let me get this right here. Okay. As Vice Chairman of the Finance Committee, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04 and subsequent extensions, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and to listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that we are providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. To access Zoom, please refer to the agenda or the city's website for the meeting link. To join by phone, 1-929-205-6099, meeting ID 820-2188, 5372, passcode 204778. The public may also view the meeting via channel 16. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting through public postings. Instructions have been provided on the City of Nashua's website at www.nashuanh.gov and publicly noticed at City Hall and Nashua Public Library. If anyone has a problem accessing the meeting via phone or channel 16, please call 603-589-3329 and they will help you connect. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting via the methods mentioned above, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Mr. Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alderwoman Elizabeth Lou.
I'm here alone and I can hear the proceedings.
Alderman Linda Harriet Gathright has a special assignment this evening, as well as Alderwoman at Large Shoshana Kelly. Alderman at Large Michael Laws.
I am here. I'm alone and I can hear the proceedings.
Alderman at Large Michael B. O'Brien Sr., which is moi. I'm present. I am home alone and I can hear the proceedings. And Alderman Patricia Clee.
Here, I am alone and I can hear the proceedings.
Also absent is His Honor the Mayor, Jim Donchis, who is also on an assignment this evening. Also expected this evening will be John Griffin, CFO Controller, David Fredette, Treasurer, Tax Collector, Kim Kleiner, Administrative Services Director, Kelly Parkinson, Purchasing Manager, Jen Deschaines from Risk Management, Sean Smith, Director of Plant Operations with the School Department, John Ibera, Superintendent of Streets, Dan Hudson, City Engineer, and Jeff LaFleur, Superintendent of Solid Waste.
Mr. Clerk, I think Mr. Albera and Mr. Fredette are not here this evening.
Okay,
I do not see them.
thank you.
Okay, let's start with public comment. Seeing none, communications.
From Kelly Parkinson, Purchasing Manager. Reason roof replacement at 14 Court Street in the amount of $268,340, funded from accounts Building Trust Fund /81100 Capital Improvements 129 City Buildings. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and award a contract for complete roof replacement at 14 Court Street with Corolla Roofing in the amount of $268,340. Funding will be through Department 129 City Buildings Fund, Building Trust Fund 81100, Capital Improvements by roll call.
Ms. Duchesne, did you want to speak to this?
I'll answer any questions if anyone has any.
Does anyone have any questions? Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you. I would just like to say that for those that do or do not know, but the original history, I am partial to it. It was originally a fire station that was converted into a theater. It does have, besides the horses no longer pull the apparatus out of the building, but the building itself does have a life and can continue to have a life in the city if we put a roof on it. So I am going to strongly support anything that improves, keeps our infrastructure going should be approved. Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions? Well, I'd like to say that I think the roof is probably from when Alderman O'Brien was a firefighter, or when the building probably still had horse and buggy kind of type of things. And I know I've been dripped on more than once in that building. So I'm looking forward, and I saw the pictures and so on. I think it's necessary. So Mr. Clerk, would you call a roll?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alderwoman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien votes yes. Alderman Clee.
Yes.
That's 4 yeas, 0 nays.
More communications.
Okay, motion carries.
Sorry,
Yeah,
motion
all
carried.
right.
Yes. Thank you so much for your patience.
Yeah, no, you're doing a fine job. There you
I'm
go.
definitely rusty. Yes.
Uh,
Motion carried on a 4-0 vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We do have additional correspondence from Kelly Parkinson, Purchasing Manager. Reason 3 vehicles for National City Schools in the amount of $106,970, funded from account SURF 81500 Vehicles School. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of 3 vehicles. One, a 2021 Ford Escape. One, a 2022 Ford E250 box van, and one, a 2021 Ford 350 transit van, in the total amount of $106,970. Funding will be through Department 191 School Department, Fund SURF 81500 Vehicles, and I would like it by roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I believe Mr. Smith is here to speak on this. Mr. Smith, did you want to add anything?
I think it pretty much speaks for itself. The youngest of these vehicles we're replacing is 14 years old. So I definitely feel like we got our money's worth. The oldest was driven by the superintendent. Some of you may remember Joe Giuliano. So this goes way back. And the vehicles that we're replacing actually were semi-retiring. We'll use them as spares for about a year, and we're trading in 2 vehicles that were actually replaced last year. So the 106,000 and change that the total comes to will be slightly less than that when we get the trade-in value. I don't expect that to be very much because the vehicles that we're going to be trading in are even older than these. So maybe a couple $1,000s less. But we'll know when we actually get the invoice.
Are there any questions for Mr. Smith? I just have one quick question. Mr. Smith, do the vehicles, as you said, that the 2 that it's replacing, obviously we're keeping those, we're not using those as a trade-in, is that correct? Just using the previous trade-ins.
Yeah, so the vehicles that I replaced last year, the ones we're trading in this year.
Okay, and what, do we just keep these others in abeyance in case something happens, or?
Yeah, so like the box van, for example, the cargo van, really all of them will be used by summer grounds personnel, or when one of my vans goes in for service, then the technician will be using one of these spares until they get their own vehicle back.
Okay, thank you so much. That answers those questions. Again, no other questions or comments. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alderwoman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien votes yes, Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Madam
And
Chair,
that mo-
4 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay, that motion carries 4-0. Mr. Clerk?
Yes. There's another correspondence from Kelly Parkinson, Purchasing Manager. Reason, sewer replacement change order number 3 in the amount of $1,300,000 funded from accounts 81700 infrastructure improvements 169 wastewater. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the change order number 3 to the 2020 sewer replacement project where Sir Construction West Incorporated of Winchester, New Hampshire, for an amount not to exceed $1,300,000. Funding will be through Department 169 wastewater fund, bonded activity, sewer repair by, and I would like it by roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Hudson?
Thank you, Dan Hudson, City Engineer. So we bring before you two different sewer items. This first one is for the repair of sewer. You may recall from previous discussions that we do a lot of video inspection and lining. That's going to be a future item tonight. This item is a change order for actually digging up and replacing pipes that have collapsed or are in such poor condition that we're not able to line them. SUR Construction West was awarded a contract in 2020 via competitive bid for the work. They did an excellent job last year. We did a change order midway through the year last year so we could accomplish some additional work. And we bring before you a third change order to that contract to try to extend their work through this season as well, given that we've had good success with them.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. Are there any questions, comments? Alderwoman Lou?
Thank you, Madam Vice Chairman. Could you just tell me if the change orders numbers, we're missing the number 2. Is that just an oversight? It looks like in the
So
in the
yeah, I can address that.
okay.
So this is, yeah, you're correct. So there was a change order 1 that was for a significant sum late last year because we added a bunch of work on Water Street. But there was a change order 2. It was a small change order. I believe it was less than $25,000. So didn't reach the level of being brought to this committee. And that was because we were a little bit delayed getting this going this year. We brought a sewer bond, so we're a little bit delayed getting this going. So that $25,000 or slightly less was brought just so we could continue to do some work that was related to paving work on paving streets to keep things moving. So yeah, you may be missing the detail on that change order 2, which was a small change.
Okay, the project total, I think project total is correct. It includes that 25,000. It looks like to me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it? Thank you so much, Alderwoman Lou. Any other questions? Mr. Clerk?
Excuse me, Alderman Lowe,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien votes yes, Alderman Clay.
Yes,
Madam Chair, 4 yeas, 0 nays.
and that motion carries. Mr. Clerk?
Another correspondence from Kelly Parkinson, Purchasing Manager. Reason, 2021 SIP lining program in the amount of $1,990,745.39. Funded from accounts 81,700 infrastructure improvements, number 169 wastewater. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the award of the construction contract for the 2021 zip lining program to Green Mountain Pipeline Services LLC of Bethel, Vermont, in the amount of $1,990,745.39, pending bond approval. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater Fund, Bond Activity, Sewer Rehab, by roll call.
Mr. Hudson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is that second type of sewer rehabilitation work we do. This is the cured in place pipe lining. So through the video inspection or CCTV stands for closed circuit television inspection of pipes. When we find pipes that are aging but still able to be lined, we line them, which basically creates a new pipe inside the pipe, restoring the useful life of the pipe. So that's what this project is. It includes quite a bit of CCTV work. We're estimating about 80,000 feet of that, and about 30,000 feet of lining. We did put this out to a competitive bid this year because we've been using a previous contractor for a couple of years. So we put this out to bid, and Green Mountain Pipeline Services is the low bidder. The references check out, and we intend to award the work to them.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. And I just want to comment also for the aldermen and that are here that Donna did send us the actual contracts for the previous one and this last one. They were obviously agenda items, but she did send us a copy of the contracts today. So they are in your email if you needed to look at them. Are there any questions or comments? Alderwoman Lou.
Thank you. Mr. Hudson, if you could just refresh my memory. I feel as though we just covered this a few months ago. Is it because we did a change order for 2020? Is that what? Do you think that's what I'm thinking of?
Yeah. So Alderwoman Lou, I think what you're thinking of is I brought before you about a $200,000 change order with our previous CCTV contractor. And again, that was to buy us a couple of months while we were awaiting that sewer bond approval. So yes, we do have we will have these two contractors under contract. The previous contractor has been continuing to work, and that was necessary because of the association with the paving work we're doing. So yeah, that's probably what you're thinking of when that contract runs its term for the previous. This new contract will be the one that we're using.
Thank you for helping me refresh my memory. Appreciate it. I'm all set.
That was a great question, Alderwoman Lou. It seems like every time we turn around, there's another SIP change order or something going on. So I appreciate that question. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Alderman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien votes yes. Alderman Clay.
Yes,
Madam Chair, 4 yeas, 0 nays.
and that motion carries. Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. Further correspondence from Kelly Parkinson, Purchasing Manager. Reason, pedestrian safety enhancements in the amount not to exceed $32,700, funded from accounts 81300, machinery and equipment, number 161 streets. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of the rectangular rapid flashing beacon, RRFB, crosswalk signal systems from Ocean State Signal Company of Smithfield, Rhode Island, in the amount not to exceed $65,000. Funding will be through Department 161 Streets Fund, prior to year escrow account category, 81 capital outlay improvements, and by roll call.
This again is also you, Mr. Hudson, is that correct?
It is, Madam Chair, thank you. So as described, this is to improve pedestrian safety at some of our mid-block crosswalks on Main Street. There are 3 locations where there's a crosswalk that isn't at a signalized crossing. There's an existing crossing on the Main Street Bridge, and those familiar with the area will recognize you walk up, you push a button, and you get the yellow flashing lights, and that's really to drive to attract driver attention to the fact that somebody is crossing. And it's been shown that can provide up to a 80% improvement in drivers yielding to pedestrians crossing. So it's proven to be a great technology. So this proposal is to purchase equipment from the same company that supplied the equipment for the Main Street Bridge, and that's for consistency in our equipment on the corridor for maintenance reasons. And then we will be installing that equipment with our internal forces in the street department.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mr. Hudson, what a brilliant idea. Traversing Main Street, if I'm on the inbound lane closest to the sidewalk, I'll yield to pedestrians, but I always keep my eye in the rearview mirror into the driver's, rearview side mirror that's on the door. For that one person that is traveling down Main Street that may not see the pedestrian entering into that crosswalk, and before the tragedy occurs, I have beat my horn on a couple occasions trying to stop the pedestrian and thus averting some tragedy. It's something that should have been installed earlier, but I'm glad that we're doing it now. I think it will make our citizens extremely comfortable in crossing the street down there and utilizing the crosswalk, plus as an enhancement to the wonderful things downtown of downtown dining and other fun activities. So thank you, Mr. Hudson, for this.
You're welcome.
Alderman O'Brien, Mr. Hudson, can you clarify? This is not for the Main Street one, because we already have one that we put in at Main Street, correct?
This is a system similar to one on the bridge, but this is
On
for
the one on
3
Main Street.
locations on Main Street.
On Main Street,
Um,
okay, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but it's not the one that's by the bridge that was
No,
already there.
that one exists, and these will be very similar.
In addition.
And Alderman O'Brien, I absolutely 100% agree with you. Are there any other comments or questions? Then I do want to say that I was the nag that helped get the one on the Main Street Bridge. For a number of reasons, I'd had a lot of complaints, and I too had a near miss, much what Alderman O'Brien had said. But truthfully, I probably would have been the one at fault because the person had stopped in front of me. The next person went, and I didn't realize that the pedestrian was still in the crosswalk when they went. So having that flashing yellow has helped, and I would have been at fault, but thank goodness I did see them at the last moment. So, are there no other comments or questions? Mr. Clerk, you call a roll?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alderwoman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien votes yes, Alderman Clee.
Yes,
Madam Chair, there's 4 yeas, 0 nays.
and that motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson.
Also before us this evening, Madam Chair, is correspondence from Kelly Parkinson, Purchasing Manager. The reason is a change order for electric hybrid ARBOC van, change order number 181 Community Development.
Ms. Parkinson is here? Yes, she is. I believe that this one, we don't need a vote on it because it's the $9,180? Is that correct?
That is correct. You approved the 2 vans a couple of months ago. So this is just the change order and it's under 25.
Okay, thank you. But just as a courtesy, does anybody have any questions or comments? If not, if there being no objection, I'll accept the communication and place it on file. Unfinished business?
There's none.
New business resolutions?
There are none.
New business ordinances?
There are none.
Record of expenditures?
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of May 14th, 2021 to May 27th, 2021 by roll call.
Would you please call roll?
Thank you. Alderman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien. Votes yes. Alderman Clee.
Yes. And,
Madam Chair, that's 4 yeas, 0 nays.
and that motion carries. Anything for general discussion? Seeing none, I'll move on. Public comment? Anyone from the public who'd like to comment? Seeing none, I will move on. Remarks by the alderman. Non-public session? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Alderman Laws.
I would just like to point out that we're living in an alternate universe when Finance Committee takes less time than Penachuk Committee, which is what happened. But I do give credit to Alderman O'Brien for clerking both of them. He is the expediter.
I know.
I would
He
like
is
to
a-
say thank you, Alderman Laws, but Alderman Harriet Gathright, your position is safe. I want to assure you of that.
He is a clerk extraordinaire.
Yeah,
I've been tapping him for so many things these past couple of weeks, so
I'm here for you, Alderman.
thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alderman Laws. I was gonna say that it went so smoothly because I'm like rushing through everything, but hopefully that's not the case. If that's, sorry, non-public session,
Yeah, no reason.
and
You're looking,
Alderman O'Brien.
there you go. The motion of the evening. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to adjourn by roll call.
If you call the roll, please.
Alderwoman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien votes yes, and Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Madam Chair, there's 4 yeas, 0 nays.
And motion carries, and the meeting adjourned at 7:28 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for being patient with me. I truly appreciate it.